Hello and welcome to the Time Is Now podcast. My guest today is Cristina, and Cristina does something called quantum reconnecting. And I'm going to turn it over to her, and she's going to tell us a little bit about herself, and then we'll move into it with questions and see what happens. Cristina?
Good morning, Jody. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having me here today. I'm really excited about it. I'm gonna talk about myself briefly. I started my journey since I was a kid, and I always looked for something that at that time was paranormal or beyond this reality. I was in corporate world for a long time. However, I always looked for what's beyond this reality. I developed my practice in order to help people through healing, through guidance, through mediumship, through psychic readings, but also helping people with for their mind as well through NLP and hypnosis. I also help kids to develop abilities to see blindfolded and to develop other abilities, and that's technically during this journey we all learn, and everything is based on experience.
Great. From talking to you the last couple of days, and we've known each other for a little bit of time now, I understand that like a lot of this energy, this whatever you want to call it, was happening to you before you really got on a structured path, almost like you were born with it. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So as kids, we all are born with certain abilities. And it's a matter of choice to develop them. Sometimes we suppress them. Sometimes we develop them at early in life. And yes, in terms of my abilities, as I said, it's a matter of intention and curiosity, and that guides you through your path. So I had this curiosity, as I said, in terms of, as they were called at that time, paranormal abilities, phenomenons, everything. And later I started to develop that, and I had an interest on that my whole entire life. And later in life, not only that I developed my abilities, but I pursued different avenues in order to help people. And what I mean by that, obviously, I have different licenses on different practices. And not only that, but I had experiences from Merkaba, which is raising your vibration from the heart. And also, encountering so-called UFOs. I also had an interest in that, and working with energy. Once you get to understand energy and how it, let's say, function, and how it's tied to your body, to your spirit, and once you delve into all these, you have an amazing journey, because the most amazing journey that we can have is beyond this reality. And in order for you to develop abilities, yes, you have to do certain things, from meditation, which is really important, to raising your energy, learning how to do it, even like in a second. So I pursue this avenue, and yes, I'm not saying sometimes it's a bumpy one. However, that's what gives you the best experiences in life.
So, quantum reconnecting. Can you speak a bit about that? What is that?
Yes. So technically, we start quantum, or quanta is the smallest. I'm going to put in simple terms so that everybody understands. It's the smallest discrete particle of a phenomenon. It's an amount. So if you think, and we've been programmed to think that we are a small particle technically in the universe. However, once you understand that you are part of the universe, you understand that you are the universe. You understand that you are connected to everything that is, that you are not limited to a tiny fraction. You are the infinite. You are the universe. That's how I'm guided in my practice with everything I do. And I don't limit anything, and I guide people not to put limitations in anything they want to achieve, they want to do, in the experiences that they want to have, regardless of if it's healing, if it's guidance, if it's developing abilities. Don't put any limitations. You are part of the universe, and don't think that you are just a tiny bit, however you want to call it, an atom, however you want to call it. That's and we have to understand it's a process of remembering to reconnect to everything that is, because that's who we are. We are infinite.
For our listeners that are listening, what kind of person, client would seek you out? Like, what would they be looking for?
That's
Yeah.
That's a really good question, and I'm going to explain that sometimes people come for guidance in with certain aspects of their lives. Sometimes people go through a rough time in their relationship, in their love life, with their finances, whichever aspect. So those are certain aspects that they seek guidance for, and in order for them to live a good life. And what they are looking for is, oh, okay, what's the best? What would happen to me, and what's the best for me? And the thing is, at the end of the session, let me put it this way: they understand that they always have choices, and nothing is written in stone, and we always have choices. And I try to help them, explaining to them the choices that they have, and how that helps them. It opens up, it's planting the seeds that there is something out there beyond this physical plane, beyond the day-to-day life, the 3D. Sometimes people come for healing. I mean, those are different aspects, and you know, um, most of the people come with something in mind. I would like to heal a knee or a part of the body, or I have a certain condition. And what I do in those type of instances, I always say, please do not tell me what you want to heal, and do not put any limitation. I don't want to know before the session what you would like to heal. So during the session, because it's a connection between, they know what they need, and the universe knows what they need, and it's a matter of creating that coherence between the two, between the healing powers of the universe and their physical body, but not only the physical body, because we have to expand our consciousness first of all, and to understand what healing means. And I try to explain people that, and what aspects of their life created certain illnesses or conditions. I call them conditions. Sometimes people want to communicate with their loved ones in spirit world, which is mediumship, and obtain certain answers that would help them, not only for closure, but also for guiding their life. And that's what they get from their loved ones. And sometimes they would like to get healing and communication with their pets. That's another aspect. And with kids, I work with kids to develop their abilities, starting from being able to see blindfolded, and it's a connection to their heart. And from there, they can develop different abilities, or even kids get scared sometimes when they encounter certain I would say either spirits or entities, because they are able to, and I guide them how to work with that in a beautiful way. So yes, that's
It's interesting that you said you don't want them to tell you anything. So I guess people have ideas of what they think the issue is, but that may not be the issue at all. Is that correct?
yes.
Like, could it be I heard a long time ago that illnesses or problems start in the energy and then work into physical. Is it along that lines?
Totally, totally. Because during the session, I get that's the reason why I don't want them to tell me anything is because during the session, when I work with their energy and I tap into their energy, what comes to me through downloads are certain not only aspects of their life, but actually people from their life. They could be in the spirit world or in this reality, having an interaction with them in this 3D. Sometimes things that happened to them in the past come to me like a movie, and I describe that to them, because what happens is those aspects, those things, they create a pattern, and if they don't change that pattern, even if the healing happens, it's going to come back. And it's going to manifest in a different way in the physical body, so that it's going to create another illness or another condition that is triggered by the same event. And that's the reason why I explained to them, okay, this is what happened in the past, that's what's been created. Or sometimes they have a strong desire for doing something, like, for example, writing a book, and I got that from someone on the right hand. So when I got to the energy of the right hand, that's what came to me. You wanted to write a book, but you suppressed that, and that ties to the right brain. I mean, it's like a flow, because, as I said, I mean, it's not isolated in a certain part of the body. It's related to other parts of the body and the energy that's there. And not only with that, but it goes to the astral plane and the spiritual plane as well, not only in the physical plane. They manifest in the physical body, but they are tied to different aspects of ourselves.
When you talk about past, like it might be something in the person's past, just going out on
Yes.
a limb here, that past could be this life or 600 years ago or 2000 years ago. Is that correct?
Correct. Totally correct.
And
Totally correct.
manifesting in this life as an issue.
Yes, yes, totally correct. And another thing that I noticed, yes, people are these days more and more open for tapping into their past lives, which is an amazing thing. And however, a very important aspect is that we also need to tap into this life, because this life that we lived since we were born in this physical body, um, through all kinds of events in our life, to all kinds of programmings. Those ones, they created patterns and created behaviors. And if we don't change those behaviors and change, we are not going to change the event that created. But once a pattern is created, we look for reinforcement for that pattern. So if that's a negative pattern in your life, and you keep looking to reinforce that pattern, is going to get you lower and lower, and it's going to create all kinds of illnesses or conditions that are going to manifest in your physical body.
Interesting. And I don't know how to put this into words, but a lot of people will use the word 3D, this reality or
Yes.
whatever, this frequency. They're in this, they're living their lives, they're going day by day. They go to work, they're working all kinds of hours and they got more, they're living this life. Not spiritual at all, don't know anything about energy at all. Are the energies of the times, as you and I we've talked, that they're increasing? Is it affecting these people and they don't know why? And that's why they might come to someone like you to give them clarity, give them understanding?
Yes, yes, and I noticed that as well in my practice. As I said, the energies these days, during the last, I would say even 6 months, that's when it started. They accelerated and they intensified. So what the problem is with people being stuck in this 3D, when something like this happens, if you don't understand it and you go with this, I mean, you live your life the same way, it's going to create conflicts in your life, because the conflicts are going to get stronger if it's a conflict, or in terms of relationships, in terms of jobs, in terms of everything. So if you have a conflict with someone and you don't get it, you don't get more relaxed and try to solve that conflict in a more peaceful way, it's going to intensify, and it's going to create something really bad for you, and then you're not going to be able to handle it. Not knowing what's going on this day makes it harder and harder for people to handle it. That's why in my practice, regardless for what you are coming for, what kind of help you need, I try to explain these things to people from the beginning, regardless of what kind of session or what kind of help you are looking for. Because once they understand that, the healing is going to be speed up. The things that they are going to understand, the events that are happening in their life, because as I said, what's meant for you to happen, and it has actually a higher meaning, is going to happen. And the thing is, if you look at it in a bad way, it's going to create other type of conflicts in your life, and you're going to be more and more convoluted, and you're not going to be able to handle that. And once they reach that understanding, life becomes, I would say, easier. And once it becomes easier and you learn how to deal with these type of things in a different fashion that you are used to, you're going to see the beauty, and you're going to create more beauty in your life. I would call it beauty, happiness, however they want to call it. But first, you need to understand what's happening.
Sounds like you're a guide for everybody, no matter what their understanding is or their beliefs, or it's just you're like someone they can talk to, and you have an understanding and a connection that will assist them to just move forward, I guess.
Yes, and thank you very much, Jody. I'm doing my best, and the thing is, when somebody comes for a session, regardless of what it is, most of the time, what I get is like, "My God, you know me." It's like, "How do you know me? How do you know that and that and that?" And I'm like, "Does it matter? Does it matter? I'm here to help. That's all." When you operate from the heart and not from the mind, it's a totally different story. And I do my best. I mean, of course, we all live in this 3D, but I operate from the heart.
I know you operate from the heart because you've been here, and I've seen wildlife just walk up to you out of nowhere. Like something's going on there. So I have another question here. Clients, do they come to you in person or do you do online? I know you have people all around the world, but how do people address that?
So clients that are here, I mean, in the area, I'm in Oakville, Ontario, Canada. So clients that are in GTA, and even not in GTA, I mean, some kids come from further for the sessions. So yes, they come in person. However, I also do online sessions. So for certain things, for readings, for mediumship, and for healing, that can be done online. And as I mentioned, I have clients all over the world, not only on this continent. And that can be done. For certain things, I would not do online. For the program with the kids, to help kids to develop certain abilities, that is in person. It's not online. And also, I'm reluctant to do, and I would not do hypnosis and past life regression online. That needs to be in person, because you need to be there, because it's a it's something new for people, and it's you have to give them assistance in person for those type of things. I mean, keep in mind that, for example, for past life regression, you go through past lives, but you also go through death. So I would not do that online, because I feel that I need to be there to assist the people when they go through that. So for certain things, yes, they can be done online. For certain things, no. I would not do that because I don't find it ethical. And I'm from all, I'm ethical.
And I know you are. We've talked, and that's what resonates with me. You're really authentic, and you know, you're into it for the bigger picture, I feel. And you'll see me turning down while you're talking, because the longer you talk, the more questions I get. So this is really good. So I will put your link to your website in the posts when it goes up. For the viewers that are watching, some of the links don't work. Like, I don't think they work in YouTube, but you got the information and you can go to Christina's website. Other social media platforms, you can click on the links and go right there. I want to go back. I remember when I was a kid, I'm 64 now. There was a lot of stuff, and we used to watch TV back in the day. Seeing blindfolded, very interesting. There was a fellow that would drive his car. They would blindfold him so he couldn't see, but he could drive. Can you give some
Yes,
clarity on that? Talk about that a little, because that interests me a lot.
yes, yes. So first of all, I mean, the blindfold that I use, it's called mindfold, and it blocks the light completely. So you are not able to see any type of light. And the reason why I use that is because you're going to find the light in your heart. This is a heart opening process. And with our heart, we can manifest, we can see, we can develop any type of abilities. Merkaba is developed from the heart, so the heart can develop a really high frequency, and also it can project light. How you see blindfolded, I'm going to explain a bit. So by allowing the light from the heart to illuminate around you, I will put it in simple terms so that people can understand. By using that, you can see with any part of your body. So, for example, what's happening, kids can see with the other side of their hand. They see with their hands. They see with the back of their head. They see. Sometimes I put the paper or the book in front of their face. And the thing is, also, when you give the kids a book, they will see what's not necessarily on that page, but the pages that are hidden beyond that. Also, they develop all kinds of other abilities. I mean, during the process, it's also astral travel, astral projection. However, both terms are used. It's also remote viewing. I mean, they develop all kinds of abilities. And as I said, you are able to see beyond the page. So they see the images that are on the other pages. And also during the process, when I talk to them, when they describe something, I'm able to see what they see. And that helps me a lot teaching them. It's also I would call it an enlightening process for the parents, because yes, generally the parents are already on their spiritual path, because otherwise you can't believe. If you stay and your mind is only on this 3D, you can't believe that actually your kid can do that and pursue that. However, it's an enlightening process or experience for the parents when they see what their kids can do. And I get very often, can we do it?
Yeah. It's very interesting. You're the
Yes.
first person I've ever met that gave any kind of instruction in that kind of a thing. And for me, it's like you're keeping them outside of the box. You're not letting them get programmed. Like, we as humans in this physical form have capabilities a lot of people can't comprehend. And that's great that you're working with children and you're just keeping them in that space, because that just being able to see without your eyes, and there's a whole conversation we could have about that, because the sight is nothing without the mind, but that's a life skill that could really come in handy in the future for them.
And I would like just to add something about that. Two things actually. And the first instruction for the kids, because this is, I would call it opposite from school. so to speak. So the school instructs you all the time, focus, focus on that, and remember, you have to learn that 2 multiplied by 2 equals 4. Okay, it's a test, focus. And remember, you learned that, you're gonna pass the test. You didn't learn that, you're not gonna pass the test. The instructions for this program are totally the opposite. What I keep reinforcing to the kids is relax, 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 relax. That's the first thing. And look, trust yourself. That's very important. Trust yourself, and through their experiences, they are going to learn more and more to trust themselves. That's another thing. And how it helps them in a day-to-day life, I give them further instructions. And not only that, but when you have an exam, when you, for example, many kids, they do all sorts of extracurricular activities, and over there, they receive the same instructions. And the thing is, what they learn during the program is to use their own energy. They learn how to make energy, and they learn how to use their own energy. And that helps them in the everyday life. Because once you learn to do that, it helps you with tests, it helps you with anxiety, it helps you with all sorts of conditions that especially teenagers these days are hit with, I would say.
Absolutely. So we go. Is this the kind of thing you would teach adults, older people?
I teach them through different ways. I would call it the issue with adults is we are so severely programmed,
right,
that we would like to jump into that, but we do not trust that we can do it. So if you try to do something, but actually your mind tells you, oh, I can't do it. As I said before, you're going to look for a reinforcement that you can't do it. And you're going to reinforce the pattern. This is impossible. This is BS. No, it's not. It's proven it's not. So the thing is, first, you have to work with those beliefs, with that belief system for yourself in order to develop abilities. If you want to develop abilities, if that's what you are looking for. So it's a bit of a longer process.
So I guess, and I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but if I'm understanding correctly, Cristina, there's a series of workshops coming, and you're writing a book and all kinds of things, correct?
Yes.
So
yes.
if the adults are at a certain phase, well, you just have to bring them through it from the beginning to the end, because that's something I'd be severely interested in. So
yes. Yes.
yeah, this is exciting.
Yes.
What
yes.
else? What else do you have that you maybe teach?
What I have in mind, and that's going to be in the near future, and I was guided to have that because I get more and more clients that are looking for that. It would be a workshop, and what I was guided once again is how to heal a broken heart. And the thing during the workshop, what people are gonna gain is a more profound understanding of what love means, and to go beyond the boundaries of 3D. People are looking for love from other people, and they become desperate for the love of other people, when actually real love and the frequency of love, no one as a human being can give you. And once you learn how to open your heart and to tap into being coherence, and put your mind in coherence with your heart, and open your heart to those frequencies, your life is going to change. And maybe in a year, maybe in a month, maybe in a week from now, you're going to see that you are actually looking for something different, something much bigger than what you thought love is. And all the patterns that you created, like, oh, I need the love or X or Y or Z, your relationships are going to change with everyone around you. You're going to get a more profound understanding of the other people and of their needs. And because, these days, all kinds of concepts are out there, like unconditional love and things like this. But people don't, unless you get a profound understanding and experience that, your mind is not gonna be able to put two and two together. So that's what that's gonna be in the very near future, and it's gonna be with simple instructions, and I'm gonna do my best. It's gonna be through experiences. So you're gonna have certain experiences during the workshop. All you have to do is be there and follow simple instructions, and you're gonna stand all those concepts. You're gonna get to experience the frequency, actually.
That's exciting. And let us know when you're ready to go with that, and we'll bring you on here and you can do your launch and get all wound up for it. Now, if I ask you something and you don't want to answer it, that's fine. Just say, no, I don't want to answer it. But I know you're connected all the time. You just get information. And that's another conversation on itself, that we don't need a lot of the process. A lot of us just get the information, but you have, and this, I'll leave this up to you whether you want to go forward with it. You have a special way of getting confirmation and getting guidance, and you do it at a crazy hour. Do you want to talk about that? Because I find it fascinating myself.
Yes. I was called to wake up between 3 and 6 in the morning, I mean, during the night. And at the beginning, you say, oh, I don't get enough sleep and so on, like us in 3D. And then I embraced this pattern with all my heart, because that's when I get my guidance, and I'm going to explain about that. I'm not gonna deny that I'm a smoker, and I drink my coffee while I have my cigarette in the morning outside all the time. Doesn't matter if it's snow or minus 30 or whatever. Doesn't matter. I'm outside with my cigarette and my coffee. And how I get the connection? First of all, like everyone else, I started with simple steps. I asked for confirmations when I started to have my connection with my. I'm not gonna go into call it higher self, call it guides. It depends. It's up to you. And I asked for confirmations, and I started to receive confirmations. However, at some point, you have to stop. You have to stop asking for confirmations. You got your confirmations, then move on. Go ahead and have the communication. And I communicate in the morning with my guides, and I ask questions and I receive the answers. I don't put any limitations in terms of, oh, who am I communicated with? Is it my higher self? Is it a guide? Or what's the name of that guide? We put way too many questions like this. We ask for way too many confirmations. Once you get them, move on and establish your communication, and the confirmations are going to come by default. You walk your walk. You're going to have interaction with people. You live in this 3D. Don't worry. Your confirmations are going to come. However, what I instruct people when they learn to establish communication are, again, simple steps, and how to ask, and how to determine when they get the answer. And yes, I love that. And I ask questions with many aspects of my life. I ask questions like sometimes, I mean, with very complicated cases, mostly with teenagers and with kids. When the parent asks for help, first I connect with the actually with the teenager or the actual client that they look for help for in the spirit world, before I answer the parent, and I see what actually the kid needs. That's another type of communication that I'm doing as well in the morning or whenever comes. Communication can be established anytime, anywhere you are. Even when somebody asks you a question, you don't, personally, I don't need to go, oh, let me meditate, or sometimes yes, but most of the time that's how it works.
Yeah, and I like the way you keep saying keep it simple and don't keep asking the same once we reach certain levels, we just keep moving on from there, and I think what people need to understand is we've been conditioned that things need to be complicated, or you need to process, or you need to pay a lot of money to take a course. Not always the truth. I like to find people like yourself, Christina, that resonate with me and getting support from them. That's what I do. And I encourage everyone to have their own personal experience. And one of the highest compliments that I ever can pay anybody, and I'm paying it to you, is Christina, you're real. You're a real person. And you've always spoke that we come to this reality to be human. We are a spiritual being in a physical body, but we're gonna have our time to go off on the other side and be spiritual soon enough. So enjoy the world.
Thank you so much, Jody. And I'm going to tell you, we connect like this because you are real. And I got that impression about you. It's about a connection heart to heart. Uh, and I got that impression about you since I met you, the moment I met you. And the thing is, if we don't live our life with excitement, and that's what I got when I met you, I was all excited. And when you came back and when we connected, I felt that excitement. And that's when you know somebody is real. That's when you know that you connect with someone. And if we would let our life be guided by those feelings, by those emotions that the body actually gives us, our life would be wonderful. Instead of, oh, is it that, and listen to your mind, oh, is Jody real, is not, oh, does or someone else, or how many diplomas they have, what do they know, and so no, you know are you going to be excited about it? What kind of feelings, what kind of emotions are triggered? That's when you know. That's when you know. And trust that. That's what I keep saying. Trust yourself. Don't look for another, oh, I need a confirmation. Is that person real? Do I have a connection with? Everything is so simple. We just try to complicate things.
It's true. We have to learn how to follow our intuition.
Yes.
And if I'm understanding from what we've been talking about, quantum reconnecting is actually reconnecting to ourselves. And
Yes.
that's you just facilitate that. You guide that, you support that to help people get in touch with themselves. And really, we're in the era of self-realization.
Yes. Yes. And that's why, I don't title myself a healer or a guide or a whatever. There are all kinds of titles out there. However, I'm a facilitator, and that's exactly what you said is totally right. Uh, it's about your connection with everything that you are out there, and you are the universe. What you need to learn is to remember that and allow that connection to happen. Allow, when you look for something, allow it to happen without putting limitations, and work with the limitations that you already have. I mean, that you created, and they've been created, as I said, by this 3D, by other people, by school, by TV, by all sorts of things that I call environment, by the environment that you were born in. So that's what I'm doing my best
Yeah, you're
to.
doing a great job, believe me.
Thank you.
You've mentioned this word several times, and since I met you, you've mentioned this word, and I really don't understand what it is. Merkaba.
Okay, so I'll explain that in simple terms. It's about, as I said before, it's about opening the heart. The heart has a certain frequency, and once you open it, as I said, I'm gonna try to make it simple. I'm not gonna go into numbers or anything like that. It's a process of remembering. So it's the connection between your light, it's called the light body, and it's the light that you can project, the frequency that you can project once you get into a certain vibration. Call it the vibration of love, even though the vibration of love is not the highest vibration that we can project. Excitement is excitement, and being authentic is much higher than love. However, once you project and you learn how to get into that frequency of love, but love, as I mentioned before, it's not love for a particular person. It's the love that you project for, call it Mother Earth, call it the universe, and you expand that vibration that is produced by your heart, your physical heart. What happens is that vibration is read by the satellite. It goes to a vast area. Once again, I try to stay away from numbers. I try to make it simple. However, it's read by the satellite. And you're going to get your confirmations. I'm not going to tell you how, but once you reach that state, you're going to get your confirmations. That's what helps you to do astral travel, astral projection, remote viewing, and all sorts of abilities are going to be developed by that. Because, as I mentioned before, you have to drop from your mind to your heart, and your heart has to be open in simple terms. And that's when you're gonna develop that. Keep in mind, everything is energy and light
And
and information.
They say, and I've just recently seen some information that the heart isn't purely physical. It actually creates energy and works on frequencies, and that's what it was designed to do.
Yes, it's about an electromagnetic field. As I mentioned, that's why I'm trying to stay away from those terms, because it might trigger the left brain. And as I said before, I'm trying to make everything simple instead of going into technicality. But technically, it's an electromagnetic field that your heart develops around you, and it spreads, as I said, miles away.
Lots to learn, lots to understand. Is there anything you'd like to tell the listeners? Just
Yes.
off on your own, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Yes. Again, I'll make it simple. When you look for something, it doesn't matter what it is, healing, guidance, or whatever, developing abilities. First, be ready to have the experience of that and allow it to happen. It's going to happen in the way that is meant for you to happen. Learn from that and take it as a confirmation, because everybody looks for confirmations. Treasure it as your confirmation through a beautiful experience. And remember it like that. And last thing, move on.
Yeah.
Move on. Learn from that and move on. And
that's the big one, moving on.
Have another one in a different way, and it's going to be another beautiful experience.
Wonderful. Well, Cristina, I know you're going to be on another podcast moving forward, because I have a page full of questions I want to ask, but we have to keep it for the viewers. Thank you for being on my podcast. The time is now.
Thank you so much, Jody. I totally appreciate that.
Yeah.
You are amazing. You are amazing. And I thank the universe that we meet.
Just trying to connect people and get information out and help the good people. That's what we want to do. And I know there's a lot of listeners that have a lot of questions. So you're welcome to contact Cristina. I'll put the link in the post. I know she'll welcome your questions. And if you want to message me, you can get a hold of me. If you'd like to see us talk about different topics, maybe you have questions you'd like Cristina to talk about, message us, let us know. So with that, I'd like to thank everyone for listening and being part of our podcast today. And everybody just have a fantastic day.
Thank you so much, Jody. Thank you so much, everyone. And have a wonderful day out there, full of beautiful experiences. Thank you.